Hello everyone! The Steam Next Festival is here once again with hundreds of demos to play, and as I usually do, I will be playing a lot of demos each day. But as there are so many demos to play and some people don't have the time to try every single demo, I decided to make a video recommending you 10 demos to play during this Steam Next Festival. Before starting, two things I want to clarify. I will only recommend demos that I have played so far, so if you are missing one that is really hyped, it might be that I just haven't played it, so I'm not going to recommend it to you. Why do I do that? Because sometimes in some Steam Next Fest happens that there is one demo that is really hyped, but it ends up being a disappointment. Like, I don't want to give examples, but also, like, this is like my personal top 10. This will only include demos of genres that I play, which are basically roguelite, deck builders, Metroidvania, horror, action, almost anything but RTS, management simulators, visual novels, farming, almost any kind of simulator or management. So if you are looking for that, I'm sorry you won't find that one here. Also, if you are interested in watching me playing some demos, I will be playing the demos from this Steam Next Festival live on Twitch during this week. My Twitch channel is twitch.tv/black_stark2. And without more delay, let's start. We're starting with something different, something that I usually don't play. This is Dark Detective: The Secret Salami. It's a comedy, chill detective game where you have to be investigating around, solving most of the time silly cases.
And I was trying to remember, where did all my money go? I had to retrace last night's steps.
That's the kind of detective game that it is, alright. With incredible over-the-top voice acting, really clever dialogues.
I haven't had a slice of bread in weeks. You have to believe me!
A pretty and cute design and some really nice touches in the animations. Also, the jazz music in the background just gives an extra detective touch. This just fits perfectly here. Everything in these games reflects the love that developers were putting while creating it. Like I say, it's not my kind of game, but I enjoy the short 15 minutes I played it. Even the loading screens are funny. Did you know there are over 1,000 tags? And also, there is a quack button. If you're into comedies or chill, cozy or detective games, give it a try. If you are not sure but you have 15 minutes to spare, give it a try. It's 15 minutes, you won't lose a lot. I completely recommend it. My next recommendation is Rotwood. Rotwood is a co-op dungeon crawler hack and slash roguelites from the creators of Don't Starve Together. And you can see that they took a lot of inspiration from Cult of the Lamb. I played the playtest some months ago, so I'm not really sure if the demo has changed a lot, but there wasn't a lot of meta progression yet. You could still unlock new weapons and some armor to start the run, but that will be it. Combat was pretty slow paced, you could not stagger enemies, so you have to go hitting them, running away, hitting them, running away. And also there was a collision with enemies, so sometimes while you're trying to roll, you could get stuck against an enemy and then get wrecked. I feel like most of the fun in this game so far is that it's a online co-op action roguelite. Gameplay wise, it did not feel like something especially unique or outstandingly good, but still it was really worth to try it. And I'm saying, these are only demos, so they might still be developing a lot of mechanics. And I mean, this is from the developers of Don't Starve Together, so they might have a lot planned for it yet. Next one is Deathbound. Deathbound, you could say it's another third-person Souls-like RPG, but this one is trying something different. For starters, you can control up to 4 different warriors at the same time, which you will be collecting from corpses. Of course, it's not going to be like every enemy you kill will return into a warrior you can absorb. They are already predetermined and they will be shining when you find them. So far in the demo, there are 5, and you can only choose 4 of them. They all have different stats, different skills. Like you have a magician, you have some focus on dexterity, you have the classic slow-paced warrior, you have one that has a focus on parrying, a spear user, They also have a combo mechanic. There is a synchronicity bar that if you fill it to the max, in the middle of the combo you can change from one character to the other and you will release a special attack that is pretty powerful. The other interesting mechanic that might be annoying for a lot of players is that your stamina depends on your HP. So the lower your HP is, the less stamina you have, but at the same time that makes you use your other characters because they don't share the HP bar. But if one of your characters die, they all die together. And also, so you don't get to the point of all your characters being low HP, when your active character deals damage to enemies, your passive character, the ones you're not using, will be healing slowly. It looks great and the performance, at least for me, was great. Boss felt unique and fairly hard for a first boss, but the normal enemies felt pretty boring and pretty Souls-like default. Ah yeah, also, classic Souls-like, the checkpoints are a pain. But I think Souls-like fans are already used to that.
Son. My son, please. Please.
Number 7 is Nevergrave, The Witch and the Curse. Nevergrave, The Witch and the Curse is a game that if you watch a trailer or the first minute when you start playing, you will feel like it's a Hollow Knight copycat because of the graphics and the music, but it's nothing like that. Nevergrave is a mix of dungeon crawler and action roguelite. I feel like they have been doing this a lot with some city management or city building mechanics for the app. It's pretty similar to what they did like in Cult of the Lamp. They are also doing that in Rotwood. Without the management or city building, they also did it in the past with Children of Morta. It's getting pretty popular and I actually enjoy it a lot. A small twist though, in this game you will be actually playing as the Hat, who is controlling the witch. Like the Hat is controlling the witch, the Hat can also control other creatures. In the demo so far I just found one more creature that I could control and it was kind of underwhelming. But it's pretty interesting concept and can give place to a lot of replayability besides all the different upgrades, all the different skills. I mean, this game is still really, the demo is really early in development, but the developers have been releasing update after update almost every day since the demo has been released, so probably has changed a lot since I've played the first time. A few things I did not like is that you don't stagger enemies, there is a lot of contact damage, and they deal a huge amount of damage to your character when you first start. Maybe they are trying to keep grinding a bigger purpose, but I just felt like I was getting wrecked with 2 attacks already. Also, you only start with 1 active skill and you have to unlock all the next one, so the first few runs might be a bit boring because you need to be unlocking everything, building your town slowly, getting more upgrades, building something else, getting a bit of meta progression. I feel like the progress is still too slow, but maybe players really like to go take it slowly and grind a lot and get more upgrades and replay it. But especially the boss, I felt like I was dealing so little damage to him, and he just by touching me he will deal a lot of damage. But even so, even with those details I did not like, I can see a lot of potential in this game and a lot of fun. Next one is Kadomon, Hyper Auto Battlers. Kadomon, Hyper Auto Battlers is a monster taming auto battler roguelite that's inspired by Super Autopets but made PvE and roguelite. You have played or you have watched Super Autopets, you know what this is about. You collect creatures, you place them so they fight on their own, you get more creatures. Every Kadomon had their own characteristics, they have their types, they have synergies depending on the types. They have strength, they have weaknesses. Of course, they have a different attack, different speed, different HP. And of course, after every battle, you will be leveling up. Or you can also be leveling up but discarding other Kadomons that you don't want anymore. Or by getting twice ones that you already have. So there is a lot of replayability already in the demo. You can try different builds depending on the stats, different builds depending on the types. The game is pretty addictive, it's a lot of fun. Even if you don't like Super Auto Pets and you like roguelites, I completely recommend this to you. The next one is Gatekeeper. To summarize Gatekeeper, it's basically top-down Risk of Rain 2. That sounds a little bit mean, but that's the best way to summarize it. Gatekeeper is a top-down action roguelite that has been around for a while with different demos. They have Gatekeeper Eclipse, Gatekeeper Infinity. Now they have released an official demo for Gatekeeper. And it's pretty fun. Like I say, it feels pretty much like Risk of Rain 2. They have different characters, each character with 5 different abilities. They have been modifying the game a lot, modifying the characters, modifying the enemies, modifying the graphics, so it doesn't feel too much Risk of Rain. It has the same vibes. I feel like if you enjoy Risk of Rain 2, you can enjoy this game without thinking the whole time that it's just a copycat. Because nowadays it's not like that anymore. The way you can get items, you can also level up your character and level up your own skills. Action is smooth, the game looks great, it's pretty replayable. Even in the demo there are already different characters to try and different items to unlock. If you're an action roguelite fan, definitely try this one. It's also online co-op. You can already play the demo in online co-op. Now in number 4 we have Clonizer. Clonizer is an unique twist to the deck builder genre, and it feels pretty fresh. In this game, they combine board gaming and deck builder roguelite. How does this game work? You land into a planet with the objective of finding, like, let's say, a number of copies of an item. With that purpose, you will be playing cards which you can use to summon creatures, to mutate your own creatures, to give them accessories, to kill enemy units to protect your core, and at the same time you control your creatures. We have action points or movement points, if you want to call them like that, and they have their own vision. When you start, the objective seems pretty simple and pretty chill, but the more you progress and the more it takes you to complete your objective, the harder the game will be getting. You can also be finding buildings. While exploring, you can find drones, and of course you will find enemies. The roguelite elements are pretty default. You choose a path where you can get like a card removal, shop, upgrades, random events. From the artifacts or passive upgrades, I did not see a lot, but there was a lot of variety in cards, different builds to get. And like I say, like this felt like a pretty unique game. The builds felt pretty unique, and I felt like I really want to replay this. So far the demo has no bosses, and they promised that the game has bosses, but if I'm being honest, it felt pretty hard without a boss by the end. Also, I have to add, the whole design is pretty cool, right? Starting the top 3, we have BioGun. BioGun is one of the best demos I have ever played, and the only reason why it's not number 1 in this ranking is because this demo has been there for a while and it has been already part of previous Steam Next festivals, so I think it's kinda unfair if I place it number 1 because it might be also part of future Steam Next festivals, so I don't know. I will leave the higher places for new demos. Anyways, BioGun is a mix of Metroidvania and twin-stick shooter where you play as Beck, being that has been injected into a dog with the main purpose of save doggies. The whole level design is pretty cartoonish, it's hand-drawn, and it's pretty amazing. The enemies are fun to fight, the bosses are great, and the whole action was just incredible. Even for a demo, there are like 2 hours gameplay, something like that. And for me, it honestly felt like playing Hollow Knight in a chill version with twin-stick shooter instead of a melee combat. Now, my personal number 2 is Standalone. Standalone is an action platformer roguelite with an incredible pixel art and some really smooth animations. Combat is also incredibly fast-paced, and there is already a nice variety of upgrades and skill. The main characteristic of this game is like in other games, you can choose between different active skills, but here you can create combos or follow-ups. Once you have one skill, you can modify it and add another skill that will come after you use it. So you use your skill, you tap the key again to use the same skill, and it will come with a follow-up. So you can manage depending if your skill is ranged, if it will attract the enemy. You can try to place different upgrades in a way that they will chain together and you can deal the most damage. The boss was fairly hard and fun to fight against. My only problem will be that sometimes you fight surrounded by traps and the enemies can be standing on top of the traps and they won't get damage from the traps. So it will be a bit of a pain to be hitting them, running away from the traps, hitting them again, and they will just stand on the traps. But besides that, this game was just wonderful. Pretty similar feeling that I got while playing Oblivion Override the first time. Now, right now, my personal number one for this Steam Next Fest is Realm of Ink. Realm of Ink is a top-down action roguelite. If you are so tired of still waiting for Hades 2, then Realm of Ink is your way to go. This action roguelite is simply amazing. The art is great, the combat feels smooth and fantastic. The mechanic about 2 ink gems that you can carry and combine them together gives place to a lot of replayability, and also Momo is pretty cute. Enemies are fairly hard to fight and bosses are a nice challenge. The upgrade system, you can already see it gives place to a lot of different sceneries and a lot of replayability. And as in Hades, you can also start your run with different weapons, some of them being melee, some of them being more ranged based. I'm still not really sure how the meta progression system will work, but it's there, it's just not in the demo, at least not yet. The only thing that might be an issue, at least I consider it might be an issue, is that during the combat you don't stagger enemies, so the game kind of forces you to hit and retreat, and some people might not like that. And also, even when I'm comparing this to Hades, this doesn't have the amazing voice acting that Hades has. Still, it was a quite outstanding demo. And that's it for now. I really hope this was helpful for you. I'm sorry if you got disappointed. Take into consideration again that this was my first ranking. If you have some recommendation, just let me know. Which demo did you like? Which demo you think I should be playing? Also, like I said at the start, I'm going to be playing demos of this Steam Next Festival the whole week on Twitch. This is my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/black_stark2. But even if you miss me playing some demos, I will be constantly uploading my gameplays during the week. So thank you so much for watching, have a lot of fun during this Steam Next Fest. Bye bye.